Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walzek, and in the upper left corner, we got Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, College Cottrell. You're on mute, brother.
We can't hear you. I was saying it's good to hear you say that again. Now that we got a show, we're talking about some college basketball. I feel like that's getting me back into it. You know, March Madness is right around the corner. I'm pumped.
My guy, I was waiting for the opportunity. I wasn't gonna withhold it forever. Although we never ever gave the final results for Bowl Mania, I was never truly given my flowers. That's okay.
I don't recall.
In the upper right corner, Scholastic Shally, Uncle Shally, Mr. William Shallcross. How you doing tonight, Bill?
Doing great, Gene. How are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling like a villain. I'm a little annoyed at the 76ers, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
You and me both.
I just don't understand
Bill,
how
I thought you weren't watching the Sixers this season, so it really shouldn't matter too much.
I watch them enough to still care and know that I'm tired of Maury, bro. I'm just over it. Done absolutely nothing. You hit on a kid, turns out to be better than what we thought he was going to be. Trade him away. It's fine.
The funny thing is, he basically did it just to get under the second apron, which pisses me off.
Yeah, so we're not really trying to win, and when we're going to start doing the Sixers are a small market team now. Is that what we're doing? Whatever. Fuck him. Fuck Josh Harris. I'm done.
Well, Cottrell's gone forever. Kidding. He's back already. But Cottrell, why don't you lead us in the hot wire before we go off the rails here?
Absolutely. So you guys hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. So we will go ahead, get right into it, and let's just rip the Band-Aid off. The NBA trade deadline is here. We've had a ton of moves that have happened already, before the madness really officially ends tomorrow. You've had Anthony Davis traded from the Dallas Mavericks over to the Washington Wizards. You've had Jared McCain traded from the Philadelphia 76ers over to Oklahoma City Thunder. You've had James Harden traded from the LA Clippers over to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland. And the biggest domino is still remain to fall at this time. Giannis Antetokounmpo, his name has been thrown around in all these rumors. He wants out of Milwaukee. They want to trade him. So we're just waiting to ultimately see if anyone can get the packages, for his services here. But so far throughout this deadline here, what do you guys think is the biggest move so far? And are there any moves that I'm sure you guys are going to get into the Philadelphia move there, but any moves that have kind of surprised you or seemingly come out of nowhere?
Go ahead, Shal.
I didn't see McCain get a trade for the Sixers. I thought they'd have been pretty quiet. I think he's a kid that, showed that he could play, and, I think still has even more promise and untapped potential. And for all intents and purposes, like Gene mentioned in the intro, it looks like we traded him just to save some money. For a kid, like I said, that I think you kind of stole in the draft, and you kind of hit on a draft pick. So to trade him away for money and start acting like a small market team, I think that's kind of bullshit. I don't think that's the right message to be sending to the fan base. But I thought the Jaren Jackson one was interesting. I know there's been a lot of talk of obviously Memphis having to blow that up depending on what they want to do with Ja. And then send him to Utah, who, I think it's a pretty bold move for them to pair him, with what they hope Ace Bailey is going to turn into, and hopefully get marketing back next year. I said last week I don't think Giannis is going to get moved before tomorrow. but I'll probably be wrong. But the Harden one, whatever. I think that one's kind of funny, if I'm being honest. It's easy just to predict that the Cavaliers will be out in the first round now. But I would say if you had asked me who are the most shocking one, I would say Jackson.
I actually think the Jaren Jackson trade was terrible for Utah. I think Memphis won that trade by 1 million. And I think Memphis, what they're doing right now, well, not even just the ones. Think of it this way, right? Think of the trade package they got for Desmond Bane. Now think of the trade package they got for Jaren Jackson. Now think of the trade package they're going to get tomorrow for Ja Morant. And you're just stacking young talent. You get to play Walter Clayton Jr. at the point guard. Get him, G.G. Jackson gets to play more minutes. They just stack young talent around draft picks. I wonder what team did that. I don't remember. Oh, the Thunder did that years ago. I love the direction Memphis is headed into. Blow up that ship that you're on because that shit's terrible. That's a terrible ship to be on. And now rebuild the right way. Get rid of Ja, get rid of Triple J, get rid of Bane, rebuild. The Memphis Grizzlies are doing exactly what the New Orleans Pelicans aren't. The right thing. Control?
I didn't know if you were going to have more on any other teams or anything like that. But, I mean, for me, it was very confusing because if you're Utah, what direction are you ultimately going? Are you saying that you want to pair Jaren Jackson and play him at the 4 and play him alongside Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler? I mean, I think it's nice to have talented bigs, but at the same time, all three of those guys cannot be on the court. But those are your three best players on 3 of your 4 best players on the roster. Keontae George has been playing incredible this season, so I won't shortchange him. But to me, I think that's a move that just doesn't make much sense unless you're ultimately looking to move either Kessler or Markkanen. Jaren Jackson is definitely a really good player. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you have to look at what you gave up for him. I believe it was 3 first-round picks included in getting rid of, Walter Clayton as well there and, a couple other players as well. So I just don't understand it from Utah side of things. I'm with you from Memphis. From Memphis' side, you absolutely have to blow it up. Ja is not the cornerstone that you kind of thought he was going to be at least a couple years ago. And it just wasn't going to work. Like the ceiling for them was ultimately where they were a couple years ago, where they had the 2 seed and, they ultimately went up against the Lakers and they bowed out in the first round. Like that was as good as that team was ultimately going to be. So you blow it up. This is an excellent year to blow it up. We're going to talk about college basketball here later on in the show, but excellent year to blow it up. This is probably the first year in a long time where I feel like there's legitimately 6 top prospects that could potentially change a team's organization. So I love the move for Memphis. For Utah, very puzzling because I just don't know their direction moving forward there.
Now, the other trade that kind of, I guess it took me a little bit to process the trade, and it was the Cleveland Cavaliers trading for James Harden. I think that James Harden is a losing basketball player. I've thought that. I think he's a losing basketball player. I tried to believe in him when he was here. I understand Kittrell's optimism for his own team. But the one thing that stands out about that is he's a great fit for Cleveland. They have a guy that catches lobs over there. They have 2 guys that can catch lobs over there. He's going to make their lives a lot easier. He's also going to be able to play point guard and take the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands a little bit to give him some rest. And then when Dennis Schroeder comes in to run the offense, he can easily slip into the 2. You also can't double Donovan Mitchell when James Harden's on the court because Harden will either A, knock down the open shot, or B, find the open player quickly. So I agree that he's a losing basketball player. I do not think the Cleveland Cavaliers will win anything with him, but I think it makes them a better basketball team today than they were yesterday. Darius Garland can't stay on the court. He's never there. I understand he's 10 years younger. It doesn't matter. He's never on the court. So in that situation, I understand what Cleveland's doing. And apparently Donovan Mitchell asked for James Harden, which I think is interesting. I don't think he will be asking for him it's July when the Cavaliers seek to re-sign him. I think this offseason ends pretty bad for them, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Cottrell, defend your squad.
I mean, I think it was a move that ultimately had to happen. I have been clamoring for the trade of Darius Garland and Jared Allen pretty much all season. And for Darius, it's not that I don't like him as a player. I do. Like, I love his game. But at some point, we have to talk about your ability to be on the floor. And like you said, he's never out there when it matters. And this toe injury that he had last year that was lingering throughout the playoffs that kept him out of a couple games in the series against Indiana and ultimately has kept him out of a lot of this season so far. And he's actually out right now because of it. It's one of those things where it essentially got reported that it's going to be a pain tolerance thing for him. It's something that will never fully get better. And with that being the case, like the Cavs championship window is right now. And you have Donovan Mitchell and you have Evan Mobley and you have at this time Jared Allen. Like, this is a team last year who had won 60 plus games and was the most dominant team in the Eastern Conference. And if Darius Garland is not going to be out there, then that's a team that's not even close to competing for a championship as constructed. So for me, I think by bringing in James Harden, I agree with you in the fact that I view him as a losing player. I do believe that he is bad for locker rooms and, ultimately locker rooms get worse after he steps in the building. However, from strictly a basketball standpoint, I think it's a perfect fit. I think pairing him with Donovan Mitchell, ultimately, Donovan Mitchell been playing a lot of point guard essentially this season, where Darius Garland wasn't in, but Donovan was the one that was tasked to get Jared Allen involved in the game, was tasked to get Evan Mobley involved in the game. And now I think with James Harden, you take that responsibility away from Donovan because that's not what his natural position is. So I also think James Harden will give him the ability to get more open shots because if James has it going, you're not going to be able to go double team Donovan Mitchell's, like you said, Gene. So I think it's a move that makes a ton of sense here. And with Donovan Mitchell's extension window coming up here soon, I think they had to make a move to have a chance in the Eastern Conference this year that is, seemingly wide open. I know the Pistons have been really good. I know the Celtics have been better than what we thought they were going to be. But if we're being honest with ourselves, the Knicks are finally catching on. If we're being honest with ourselves, though, the East is wide open this year with no clear-cut definitive favorite. So I think it's a move they had to make, and I'm here for it for now.
I hear you. I'll say this. With the acquisition of Nikola Vucevic for Anthony Simons by the Boston Celtics, and if they get Jason Tatum back, I understand what they said in reports, but there's other reports that he's practicing, that he's starting to ramp up his workouts. If they get Jason Tatum back with Vucevic, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, and Derek White, that's the clear-cut best team in the East. I don't want to hear anything else. They're the better. They're not?
No, I agree with you. I was going to get the Vucevic. I think he was the steal of the whole trade deadline. It was kind of an under-the-radar type move. I think it's a great move for Boston.
I agree with you, Ed. He does not play defense. I don't want to say he can't play defense because I've watched him actively play defense, but he doesn't try playing defense.
He's not going to play defense.
The nice thing, though, with the Cavs is that they got two guys that can protect the rim, and they also have guys that can defend the perimeter. They went out and got Keon Ellis. Max Strus will be back at some point. Like, both those guys can also defend. So you got guys that'll pick up the slack for him defensively as long as he's – I'm not saying he has to be stellar. I'm not even saying he has to even be good. But just give minimal effort on that side. I think the other guys can pick up his slack.
He does give minimal effort, though. If we're power ranking the Eastern Conference right now after the trade deadline, give me your top five.
Detroit, New York, Boston, Cleveland. I don't know who that fifth team would be. I don't know if I have a 15.
I mean, if you're trying really hard not to say Philadelphia, it's fine. I get it.
No, but you said after the deadline. Like you guys haven't done anything.
Well, does it matter?
You got rid of
the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia then.
I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers in a 7-game series healthy is the best team in the East. They're not healthy, though. They're never healthy. That's the part that no one gets. Paul George out for 25 games, which we'll get into for a minute. But Philadelphia healthy. All their entire roster healthy. They're the best team in the East. It's not close.
I mean, it's on paper, yeah.
Yeah, that's not all I'm saying. They're not going to be healthy come playoffs.
But even if you guys were healthy, though, like I'm not, like I think the Knicks match up very well with you guys. Like
I disagree completely. I know I disagree completely. You got Kitty Cat in the paint. He's soft. I
dominates Cat every time they play.
And I like our wings.
Beat you guys in the series the last time they saw you.
That was not this team. BJ Edgecombe was not on this team. Paul George did not play for that team. It's not the same team, bro.
It's not.
Yes, 2 years ago they beat us in a 7-game series. You're correct. Okay. Right now, I would say Pistons, Celtics, 76ers, Cavs, Knicks, with the Magic sitting sixth. And don't sleep on the Magic, because I think the Magic can go out there and absolutely, when they get Franz Wagner back, I think they can absolutely compete with anybody in the East. I think there's 6 teams that can go to the finals in the East.
It's quiet as it's kept. We didn't talk about the deal really too much, but I actually like the direction that the Washington Wizards are heading in.
I hate it, because we can argue this. This is
why do you hate it?
Because street clothes Davis is what that's like. Not, I really love them adding a 36-year-old that has no knees.
No. That's not the point that you're missing the aspect of it. I'm saying they have the young talent right now, but then you also have Trae Young, who is, I mean, let's be honest, Trae Young is a star.
Doesn't play defense. Yeah.
That's fine. You got Anthony Davis there, who does play defense.
Never on the court.
I mean, we're talking about the 76ers here with a bunch of guys never on the court. And you're telling me that they're the best team in the East. So
no, I said if they're healthy, they're not the best team in the East. I put them third, number one.
I'm just saying Washington's in a spot right now where Anthony Davis is going to miss probably the rest of the year. Like, there's no rush to get him back. Trae Young's probably not going to play. I like the young talent that they have, though. You have Alex Sarr, you have Keyshawn George, you have Bub Carrington, and you're probably going to have a top 5 pick in the upcoming lottery. I'm just saying with that core group of guys, and you just add in Trae Young and Anthony Davis to that roster for next season, they're going to be a team that's going to be competitive, a lot more competitive that we've seen from Washington in the last probably 8 years.
I guess. I don't like the direction you're headed in. I think they put themselves in a deeper hole. I think you added 2 losing pieces to an organization that's used to losing. And then I think that stunts the development of Alex Sarr, if I'm being completely transparent with you. I think Anthony Davis stunts the development of Alex Sarr.
I don't know. I mean, I think playing with Anthony Davis is going to open up a lot of stuff for him. AD's better playing with a true big, and I think with AD also being there, it's going to open up the floor a lot more for him.
I guess we'll see. I mean, next year we'll wait and see, and we'll see how many games Anthony. But 100 games total, over under Trae Young and Anthony Davis play next year. I'll go under.
100 games total.
Total.
All right. Can I raise you an offer?
Sure.
If they both play in the same games, that count as 1 or 2?
No, a total amount of games played. So if
so
one plays 55, the other one plays 40, I win.
AD and Trae Young will play more games combined than Paul George and Joel Embiid next season.
That's an easy bet. You win that. I'm not arguing. I'm not making that bet. Joel Embiid doesn't play back-to-backs ever.
The problem is, though,
street clothes just like Anthony Davis is.
Like, if anybody in the NBA has missed anywhere near as much time as Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis is one of those people.
Zion Williamson's the other one.
Oh, and Zion is 100%. Yeah, Zion is definitely there.
By the way, he stinks. I've watched him play so much recently, and they're making something of it. Like, did you hear the Pelicans GM recently? He goes, yeah, I just think this is a playoff roster. We just got to put it together. You're 13 and 39. It's not a playoff roster. Like, I don't know what you're watching. And by the way, you watch the Pelicans play basketball. It's hilarious. Hilarious watching them play basketball. It's Zion drives to the lane, flails his arm, tries to get a foul, and misses 1 of 2 free throws. It's literally their offense.
I won't
Trey
say
Murphy needs to get traded before his trade deadline's up.
I
He could be a point.
I agree. I like Trey Murphy and I like Herb Jones too. I won't say Zion fully stinks though, because I will say I watched the game they played against the Spurs, and he was giving Wemby all he could handle and then some. So obviously it's not consistent, but it's Zion has the talent. He needs a reset. That team needs a reset.
I actually had thoughts on this too. I wanted to bring this up real quick. So the Charlotte Hornets, if you didn't know, are playing their best basketball they've played in 20 years. Like they've never played. They won 7 straight games. They look really good. LaMelo, Brandon Miller, they're on the court at the same time. It's awesome to watch. They're winning basketball games. And guess what they do? They go out and trade through their court. Why? For what reason? To add Kobe White? Like, what are we doing? Why? The best basketball the Hornets have played in the last 20 years. They win 7 straight games. GM goes, wait a minute. We got to figure this out. This is not what we do here. Let's make a trade. Shai, what do you think about that trade?
It's yeah. I mean, it's like it's a head scratcher. It's almost like they don't want to be good. You get some momentum behind your team, and you probably have people start showing up. Like you win 7, like you said, win 7 in a row, and guys like, nah, we're not doing that. We're afraid of that. Like, we need some L's. Let's make a trade today for no reason whatsoever.
None. Con Knippel's playing his ass off. You traded for a 2nd and 3rd string point guard when LaMelo Ball is your point guard. What the hell are we doing?
Well,
why do you make that trade?
I wouldn't disrespect Kobe like that. Kobe can definitely be a combo guard with LaMelo,
He's
but
not
I wouldn't have made it.
He's not starting over, though.
Con Knippel plays the 2 for them. Brandon Miller plays the 3. Where does Kobe White fit in that equation?
You're not wrong.
That's
You're
the
not
whole
wrong.
point. And listen, I don't think Kobe White's a bad player. I just think to trade for 2 backup point guards is stupid. It's dumb. You're winning basketball games. Colin Sexton's played great for them off the bench.
Yeah.
He's been, whenever LaMelo Ball's off, you have a guy that can run the offense. What the hell are you getting between Kobe White and Mike Conley Jr., who's 55 years old?
Yeah, I don't know the whole Mike Conley Jr. I'd be surprised if he actually reports, because I don't see a fit for him on the roster at all. Like at all.
I thought I saw something already that he's going to retire.
I would. I think it's stupid. I actually like the Hornets roster. LaMelo, Con Knippel, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Grant Williams is giving them great minutes. Diabate is playing great for them. Kalkbrenner's playing great. They have a young, solid roster. And they just, we're going to screw it up. I can't stand that. I know your dad. He's not older than your dad. I know your dad. He's not older than your dad. Mike Conley will be
Charlotte.
The other deal that I saw, Gene, and I'm curious of your thoughts on it, of what he should ultimately do next here. Guy that is a hot topic on the show.
I know what you're gonna do. I know you're gonna do.
Chris Paul was traded to the Toronto Raptors, and looks like he won't report there, and it's probably going to get bought out.
They asked him not to report, by the way.
Do you think that, or I shouldn't say, do you think? Where do you think his next destination should be?
Los Angeles Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers. He can play backup point guard. He can play combo with Luka. He can absolutely be a floor general for that team. They need it. He's friends with LeBron. He can play 14, 15 minutes a night and be fine with it. It's absolutely Los Angeles Lakers. And he lives in LA. It's absolutely Los Angeles Lakers.
Just curious on your thoughts on it. That's all. Wasn't going to go anywhere crazy.
I think another interesting spot for him to land would be, if you're not paying him anything, would be the New York Knicks and be the backup to Jalen Brunson, to be the second string guy that gets OG and Mikal Bridges, because Deuce McBride isn't it. He's a shooter. He's not a point guard. So that would be my second option, would be New York.
I can see that.
I'm just curious of, last year just went so well for him. I don't understand. I would have been begging the Spurs to bring me back. Like, I get it. You know, they're pretty loaded in the backcourt there with, you got Harper and Castle and obviously Fox, but like I would have been like, look, last year I was an incredible piece for you guys. Like I could run the second unit if need be.
But they don't need him to run the second unit. They have 3 guys who can run the second unit.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like he was. If anything, it's like, all right, we bring in a vet in the locker
luxury
room.
Of depth, Cottrell. That team has a luxury of depth. You have Darren Fox, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. Like, that's a luxury of depth.
Absolutely. The other one that I just thought about just came to my head here. Yep. I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. The Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets need a point guard like
so bad,
like nobody's business. If they don't find a way to make a deal at the deadline here, I don't know what the relationship with CP3 and KD is. Like I don't know if they have a relationship or not, but that would be something that would make a ton of sense to me too.
That's what Kyle Edwards just put in the chat. They need a point guard too because Jalen Suggs and Anthony Black are not the point guards we thought they were. Orlando is what he said. Houston absolutely needs a point guard. And by the way, they figured out how to defend Houston now. They don't even stick Amen Thompson. You watched a Rockets game recently, Cottrell?
You can't shoot.
They let him free at the free throw line. Get shoot 2-pointers all day. They don't even defend him.
Ben Simmons, baby.
He's worse.
Legitimately, he's been.
Oh, it's insane.
But the difference between the two, though, he has the confidence. So, like, you leave him open, he is shooting it. He will dribble, pull up, and he will shoot it. So,
well, he will. You're not wrong. All right. Well, let's move on. We got 2 more topics in Hot Wire.
All right, sounds good. So, sticking with basketball here, definitely wanted to add him in here, especially with your guys' links to Philadelphia and just where the Sixers were at this point in the season. Paul George had ultimately been suspended for 25 games for testing positive for a banned substance that he credits to his mental health medicine.
I'm going to be really sensitive for this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What are your guys' thoughts on the situation here? How does it impact the Sixers for the rest of the time frame that he is out? And it sounds like you have some thoughts on his reasoning for the suspension.
I'm going to be really insensitive here. Shad, you want to go first? Because I'm going to say.
No, you can go. You're probably going to say everything I want to say.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say what's outside the room. I'm so sick of guys getting popped for PEDs and saying they were taking them. They didn't know what they were taking for mental health. Stop it. Stop begging for sympathy. I don't want to hear it. You took a banned substance. You've been stealing money. You had a great 10-game stretch. The NBA was like, oh, this doesn't look like Paul George. They tested him. He came back positive for a banned substance, and he goes, oh, it's my mental health. Dude, stop doing more podcasts than basketball games, and maybe we won't have to worry about you taking pills for your mental health. And by the way, I know mental health is super – I understand mental health is super important. I don't want to sound insensitive, but, dude, come on, bro. You give me $40 million a year and you watch how quickly my problems disappear. I'm sorry. I don't care how stupid that sounds. I promise you problems disappear when I make that much money.
I think it's cowardly, if I'm being honest. I think hiding behind mental health as an excuse of taking a PED, which you've pretty much, in kind of, innuendos admitted that you knew exactly what you were taking. This wasn't like I took this, this protein and it had something in it that made me pop or like this wasn't an inadvertent positive drug test. Like he knew what he was doing. And then, like I said, to kind of hide behind the mental health thing so people really don't kind of come crashing down on him and saying the things about him that they probably should say. Yep. It's cowardly. I hate it. Didn't want him here the first, from the get-go. Still don't want him here. Like Gene said, he's more concerned with doing podcasts and TV appearances than he is playing basketball. He's horribly overpaid. It's whatever. It's just another nail in the coffin for me with Paul George.
Oh, pandemic P, bro. Tell me you disagree, Cottrell.
I'll say this. I think Paul George is one of the athletes that has there's two sides, so hear me out while I'm saying everything I say. Paul George has been one of the basketball players that has been very open about like mental health and being a advocate for it. I know him, DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Love, like all three of those guys have been very adamant about mental health being important, which it is. With that said, though, Paul George has been in the league now, 14 years, maybe, or close to it, maybe 12 years, 13 years, like somewhere around there. And for this to not be a problem until right now, where, I think we start to have questions about how good Paul George is at this point. You guys are already openly talking about how he's stealing money from the organization from not performing well. And this is the time where ultimately gets popped for these mental health medicine. I don't know if I'm buying it. So I think that, is there a chance? Sure, I guess. But the timing of everything happening, like you said, Gene, it's no coincidence to me that all of a sudden he's playing well. He's getting back to looking like Paul George. The Sixers are playing well. And then ultimately this comes out. So I think if anything, this would be like the worst coincidence of all time if it were to be. So I'm not necessarily buying it, but
you mentioned DeRozan and Kevin Love. Like Kevin Love has been open from the get-go about like his anxiety issues with playing in front of people and like how crippling it was at times. DeRozan's talked about mental health and being away from his family. Like the difference is those two guys didn't go take PEDs to cope with it. Like you can't like I can't get arrested and the cops be like, oh, like why are you doing cocaine? And be like, oh, mental health. Like you can't say that. Like that's not an excuse. Like there's a million things you could do to make yourself feel better, but if they're illegal, they're illegal. Like and like and again, like this wasn't hard to figure out. Like you mentioned the coincidence. Like I started seeing tweets about it a couple weeks ago, and it was like Paul George, like looks like a complete step quicker, and like so I turned on the Sixers. I started watching. I'm like, oh, like he actually looks pretty good. And then lo and behold, boom, like Gene said, NBA sent that guy to like, yep, go see Paul George, and right away popped. Like this isn't rocket science. And like I said, I think the thing that annoys me the most is hiding behind mental health. And again, I'm not debating the fact that he might have mental health issues or he struggles from, stress or anxiety. I'm sure I think way more professional athletes do than like they even talk about. But to hide behind that excuse to kind of shield himself from the blame of it all. And again, he hasn't like really come out and be like, oh, I inadvertently took it. Like he knew what he was taking. Like he took it on purpose and he just thought he wasn't going to get caught. And that's just shit to me.
I agree completely. I think that him saying that is just full of shit. And I think so many athletes do this, man. So many athletes do this. They blame it on everything under the sun. I was taking it for depression. I was taking it for this. I didn't know what it was. Blah, blah, blah. When was the last time you heard an athlete come out and be like, yeah, I tried. I got caught. I shouldn't take PEDs. I was recovering from injury and I was trying to use them to recover quicker. The last time I heard that shit was Alex Rodriguez. It's the one thing I respect about him is at least
but even still though, like if that's the case and you're trying to
bro, if he said that, I have no respect for him, Kittrell.
No, for sure. I'm saying like it would almost be impossible to just I shouldn't say impossible because obviously A-Rod did it, but like even if he came out and said like, hey, I hadn't been feeling great, like I was taking this medication, I didn't fully know what was in it or whatever the case may be. I think that would even be better than throwing the mental health aspect side of it, because I feel like you it's like one of those trigger words, right? Like you throw mental health out there and it's like, ooh, like we're gonna stay away from that. Like we're not gonna dive too deep into it. We don't want to say too much about it. We don't want to be insensitive. We don't want to get canceled kind of thing. But on the flip side of it, it's like
cancel me. I don't give a shit. By the way, you know what this reminds me of, Kittrell? It reminds me of the Tiger Woods thing when he got caught cheating on his wife, and then he said, "I'm a sex addict. I need to go to recovery."
Great. That's a great comparison. It's a great comparison.
I need recovery.
Yeah, and you find out he's a girlfriend in 30 of the 50 states, and you're like, all right, maybe it's not what it was.
Maybe need a little bit more than recovery.
Yeah, and it's true because, but again, like Gene brought up a great point. Like it takes away from the people who actually are like really struggling with it. Like Kevin Love is like people have like corroborated stories like where Kevin Love's had panic attacks to the point where like he would literally go in the locker room and like hide in a closet because it was dark and quiet and like he couldn't even make himself go on the court. Like DeRozan's chronicled his stuff, and like there's been other guys as well. You know, LeBron's even touched on before about like the stress of a season and like you know how like quick you can kind of go down a dark hole and like almost like turn on yourself. And then for this guy to be like, you know what, give me some juice. I'm gonna go start dunking on people again, and then think nobody's gonna notice when the guy really hasn't played basketball in 2 years. And all of a sudden, he looks like 24-year-old Paul George, and then be like, oh, damn. Well, mental health. Don't yell at me. Like that's it. It's just bullshit. It's just awful. Like for all the people that really struggle with it. And again, like I think Gene touched on it. Like, yeah, give me $40 million and like all my problems are going to go away. It's true, but to that point, I think being a professional athlete is a lot harder than I think all of us realize. But when you have people that do this, it ruins it for all the people that are legit struggling with it. And that sucks for me.
So that's the thing though. It's like, I think Paul George was struggling with it. Cause like I said, like he has been open. I know for a fact he's been open about making donations to like better health. I remember during the bubble, like he was specifically talking about like how much anxiety he had about just playing basketball and how much like, his mental health was really affected there. But like this takes away so much from that because now I don't view it the same. You know what I mean? Like it almost felt like now you're looking at everything and it's like, all right, well, he's saying that back then. So like people had more sympathy for him because at that point we were calling him, Pandemic P or now he's Podcast P and we're adding all these fun nicknames to Playoff P, but he's not actually performing in the playoffs. Like so now it feels like, all right, well, did we give you sympathy back then for no reason if you're just going to lie about the mental health then? Like, you know what I mean?
Call him PEDP.
As well.
Performance enhancing P.
Let's go. Let's move.
All right, last topic here. For Hot Wire, we have the Winter Olympics starting this Friday. One of the major things that's happened right before is that Lindsey Vonn has ruptured everything in her ACL, and she is going to be still competing in the Olympics. It was crazy. 8 years ago, she said she was hanging them up for good. She had been absolutely incredible with the build up to the Winter Olympics here, and now her final competition before the Winter Olympics, she ultimately torn her ACL, and she still will be competing. Obviously, this is going to be one of the more interesting stories to follow, see how well she does in competition and things like that. But as far as the Winter Olympics goes, guys, Lindsey Vonn included, what are you guys excited to watch? Anything that you're like, all right, I got to be in front of a TV for it, or anything in general that you want to talk about with the Winter Olympics here?
I'm excited to watch the Super Bowl.
I knew that's what we were getting from him. I knew that's where this was going. I'm a little torn on Lindsey, and I'll say it for this reason.
Was that pun intended, or
no? It really wasn't, but it's
okay.
It works. It works. I love Lindsey Vonn. She became the first real true American skiing star. I think we're all kidding ourselves to think once she gets over there and they start training runs that she's going to be able to compete. I don't know if they're taking an alternate for her because I feel like we're at the proverbial spot where she's taking somebody's spot. And I think it sucks because she said she was going to retire a couple years ago, and then she's like, you know what, not going out that way. I think she's 40, I believe.
Yep.
She's like, I'm going to go harder than ever, get back in better shape. She makes it all the way back. She wins a couple races. She qualifies. And then to fall and blow her knee out again, which I think she's had rebuilt like 3 times, which is crazy. I don't think she's gonna be able to compete. And again, if they take an alternate and they can, replace her if she does try and she goes, all right, I can't do this, I'm okay with that. But if not, I feel like you're leaving somebody home, that almost equally deserves to be there, and that part would suck, and it's going to suck. That's pretty much how the last chapter of her, career kind of ends. It's sad, and it's one of those things that reminds you that athletes always talk about going out on like their own way and everything else, and sometimes they don't get to choose. And this is probably going to be one of those situations.
You don't see her having a Tiger Woods at the U.S. Open moment.
I think skiing is just way too much just way more physically demanding than golf.
Of course.
And Tiger, and obviously Tiger, the Tiger thing at Masters is one of, the greatest, I don't even want to call it comeback, but like those type of stories ever. I would love that for her. And again, I think she deserves it. I just don't know if she can get back at 44, stay at that. Like she's obviously going to have another surgery, go back all through that. I don't know if she can get back at 44. If she could, that'd be great. I would love to see it. Because again, I think if anybody deserves a better ending, it's her. But I just wouldn't want to see her take somebody's spot that's younger that could actually go out and physically compete. So I guess, like I said, it's kind of a double-edged sword for her.
I'm really excited for luge.
Luge is great, bro.
No, honestly, the events I like watching in the Winter Olympics are speed skating and ice hockey. And I get more into hockey because, number one, the United States is an underdog, and number two, I can root for the United States. That's it.
I agree.
If we were like the basketball team, like I like watching basketball. That's why I watch it. But like half those guys on the team I want to see lose anyway. Like I don't really get that far. I get into it, but I'm not like.
So hockey will be great again this Olympics, obviously, because the NHL players are all back in. So I think they finish up. I think the last games are tomorrow, actually, for the NHL, and then all the guys that have made the team, they're going straight over. So yeah, I mean, we will have the hockey tournament will be incredible. You'll have
that is an understatement, Mr. Suggs.
What?
He said, sad the Winter Olympics are more exciting than today's Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl was brutal.
I wouldn't know.
I'm not even getting the Pro Bowl. You mentioned speed skating. Yeah, Jordan Stoltz, who may be the best speed skater, short distance anyway. Maybe the best speed skater in the world right now. Had great trials, broke a couple records. His coach has said numerous times in practice he's broken the world record on their timing by decent amounts. He will be fun to watch. He's going to medal, at some point. You always have the guys. There's always a couple dudes that look like linebackers from the Netherlands that can skate like crazy, and a couple other countries. But Jordan Stoltz is definitely a guy to watch, speed skating wise. That kid's a stud.
I have zero interest in this. I'm sorry.
That's wild. I like.
It's almost the same as the Pro Bowl. I don't care.
Bro, it's not even close. It's so much better than Pro Bowl, dude.
What events are good outside speed skating and hockey?
Bobsled.
Curling's good. Snowboarding.
And curling, yeah, bro. Tell me, curling's incredible.
I don't even know what curling is.
Your bicep show.
Stop it. We've talked about curling on the show a million times.
Is that the thing with the puck?
Yes.
Yeah, that's curling. You know what curling is.
Yeah. He got like curling.
Come on.
I don't like curling. I just figured out what it was.
Snowboarding is going to be always interesting to watch.
I just hope people crash out. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You didn't I shouldn't say grow up, but you didn't watch like X Games and stuff like.
Not really.
That's the stuff I don't like. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll watch like the
Shaun White.
I'll watch the half.
That's what I was getting at though. Like those guys who also perform in the Olympics.
Other skiing events, like where they go all nuts. I don't watch that.
Yeah,
I
but
want to see people fall.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I don't want them seriously injured, but like, I want to see the crash out.
They're 40 feet in the air. They're going to land on ice. Gene's like, don't get hurt too bad. But,
I'm just telling the truth. I root for
the,
them. I'm like, oh!
the one chick from Canada like broke her back. Like, I can't
I don't
remember
want
her
that
name.
to happen. I just want
What?
them to fall.
Well, I'm saying she's missed the Olympics because she broke her back 2 weeks ago because she came down and landed on the ledge of the half pipe.
Once again, I don't want them to get hurt. I just want to see the crash out.
Gene just wants to see crashes.
I'm just saying, I want to, Kyle, that is the perfect way to put it. I like seeing people compete. Like that's what sports is about for me personally. Like
overall, yeah.
If people are competing and they're doing it at a high level, I'm all for it. So this gives me an opportunity. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say, oh, I'm going to be locked in, all day and night to all of these events. But at the same time, at night when, curling is on or when, snowboarding is on or whatever, I'm going to make sure that I'm in front of a TV for it.
That's so true. No, listen, overall, I think summer is better as a whole.
Without a doubt.
But there's parts of the winter that are great. Like you said, I can watch curling forever, and it's great that we've gotten good at it the last two Olympics. I said before, jokingly, but I've really gotten into the biathlon. I think that's crazy. That's when they got to ski for like 2 miles and then like lay down with the rifles and shoot these little like miniature targets and then get back up and ski 15 more miles. I think, like I said, anything on the ice track I'm in.
I miss Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding. That was some real world drama.
It was, though.
That's what I miss. I don't care about the competition.
I forget the girl's name, but I mean, she's favored to win the gold. I can find her name real quick. She's really good. Figure skating is always up there. Figure skating is the equivalent of gymnastics in the summer. Everybody gets behind them.
I wouldn't do this, but I do laugh at it. Gene is Adam Sandler and Big Daddy with the stick on the path, hoping for people to trip. Isn't it just bobsled? I thought the Jamaican bobsled was a team.
The Jamaicans qualified this year. They're back.
Let's go.
They qualified for 4-man. You have so many different now because you have 4-man, you have 2-man, you have mixed 2-man, man and woman, obviously, and now they have that monobob thing where it's just it's like a little miniature bobsled, just one person. It's pretty badass.
Let me know when we're done.
Oh my god!
They should. There you go. 7-on-7 football.
That would be summer, though. It wouldn't be winter.
I mean, they're doing flag football, so it's already going to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what.
Anyway,
you're pretty much getting that anyway.
All righty.
Gene can't get off this fast enough.
I can't. You're right. You guys want to give me your predictions for luge?
Luge.
Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some expert, but at the same time, it definitely deserves its due, and I will be locked in. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
I want to check out the cross country skiing. That's my
the biathlon. It's awesome.
Cross country skiing.
And then you got the skeleton, which are the losers that go down head first. They're super crazy.
Guys, I don't know what you guys are doing Thursday, but I'm 100% watching the alpine skiing. 5:30 p.m.
Alpine's cool though.
All right.
Would you go down that big ass thing and jump like 300 feet? Because I wouldn't.
No. But why does it mean I have to watch it? I wouldn't do it.
No.
I wouldn't get in a gunfight either. I don't watch that on TV.
Yeah, I watch it on TV.
Kind of do. I watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We all watch gunfights. Let's be honest.
All right, Super Bowl. Super Bowl. I think the fun thing to do is take this next 10 minutes to go over like the props, things like that, the fun stuff leading up to the Super Bowl, the interviews. But we have a little breaking news.
I did have that. I was curious if you were going to bring it up. I was going to ask.
Jeff Stoutland, longtime Eagles offensive line coach and run game coordinator, has removed himself from the Eagles organization. You know, it's funny. We do this with the Phillies on the exact opposite normally. On the Sixers, me and Chowie are on the same side, kind of. I'm a little bit more of the optimist. And for whatever reason, Chowie's the optimist when it comes to the Eagles. I think Jeff Stoutland left because a lot of the offensive coordinators came in and they said, well, we want to hire our own offensive coaches. I don't want to inherit a run game coordinator. And then the news came out that they demoted him from being run game coordinator in the middle of the season last year. And they just had him as the offensive line coach. Coach Stoutland has created more monsters on that offensive line. Stoutland University. I don't know why he left, but I think he left because having to deal with new offensive coordinators and, Josh Grizzard being the passing game coordinator. And then you bring in an ex-quarterback, Sean Mannion, to be Eagles' offensive coordinator. I don't think Stoutland wanted to work with him. So, sucks. I hate losing them. I'm not thrilled at the direction that the Eagles are headed this offseason. Shally, tell me there's rainbows or there's peachy and sunshine.
Not on this one, brother. Not on this one. I think to your point, I think with as much success as he's had, especially just with this organization, you look at guys like Lane, Kelsey before he left, how they talk about him and credit all their success to him and how they've made him better and everything else. I think for the Eagles to have devalued him, and kind of look past him, like you said, I think is a rare, really big misstep by this organization. A guy that is just not only built, but sustained that line to be a top 5 line for a better part of a decade, if not more. To kind of inadvertently or have innuendos or whatever you want to call it, like you said, that maybe he was part of the problem or not taking what he said seriously, or not valuing his point of view. Like I said, I think it's a serious misstep from this organization, which usually doesn't do stuff like this. He will be missed. I don't think you can make it rainbows and butterflies, sunshine, whatever you want to call it. I don't think that's possible on this one. He's widely considered one of the top 2 or 3 offensive line coaches in the entire league, universally by everybody. It's not. This isn't a, me and Gene doing an Eagles, all our coaches are great thing. You won't hear anybody not mention his name when you ask who are the best offensive line coaches in the league. This is a mistake, and for the Eagles to put him in a position where he felt that unwanted or whatever the right word is, it's a mistake and it sucks, and they're going to miss him.
I'll say this: in the 13 years he was here, Jason Peters, Hall of Famer; Lane Johnson, Hall of Famer; Jason Kelsey, Hall of Famer; Jordan Mailata, 7th rounder that played rugby, to an All-Pro; Landon Dickerson, All-Pro; Cam Jurgens, All-Pro; Mekhi Becton, a guy that was written off as one of the worst linemen draft ever, made an All-Pro team and got a $20 million contract. Yeah, I don't think it's Stoutland's fault the offensive line wasn't working.
No.
I think that the timing of it is very questionable. Ultimately, because I think if you're going to lose Stoutland, I think that it would make more sense if it was like, all right, we're going to lose him, but we're going to bring in Brian Dable as our OC. Or, we're going to lose him and we're going to bring in, whoever as our OC. If the report ultimately was that, these OCs didn't want to come in and have a run game coordinator because they wanted to bring their running game with them, I 100% understand that. But if that's the case, you should have had that conversation with Stoutland beforehand. Like, that should have already been taken care of. That should have been ironclad. Like, hey, this is what we want to do. And if ultimately, I understand what you guys are saying. He's definitely between it's either him or Bill Callahan to me is, best offensive line coaches in the NFL at this point. But if they felt like they were going to get better by hiring a stud OC and that couldn't happen with having him on the roster, cool. Whatever the case may be, I can at least understand that. But now you bring in Mannion, and you're losing Stoutland at this point for no reason, because it seems like they were already going to coexist. Like you made sure that you brought in somebody that could coexist with them. So it just feels like the situation wasn't handled properly and the right conversations weren't had before the hire, for the OC ultimately happened there. So I think the Eagles offensive line coaching job should be a highly coveted one. It seems like a lot of people kind of shied away from the Eagles OC spot. I think the Eagles have still a ton of talent on the offensive line, so a lot of people should want it. But curious to see what's going to be next for Stoutland and how long he ultimately stays away, or if this is going to be the end for him.
I do want to say this. I hope he gets traded. I'm still hoping he gets traded. I can't wait till he gets traded. If the Broncos really have this package that are going to blow us away, cool, blow us away. Second, no, they won't be wasting more than Chip Kelly years. But in my opinion, I think the OC is going to be a repeat of this year. I don't agree with you. That's fine. I think that when you hire a 33-year-old ex-quarterback to be your offensive coordinator, you have to see obviously we don't know if he's going to be a McVay or Shanahan or one of those guys. Like, I don't think he will be. That's a kind of lofty. That's what happens when you hire young first-time coordinators. Like, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that young, innovative coordinator. Like McVay, super young when he got hired as an offensive coordinator. Sean Mannion played quarterback in the NFL. Super intelligent guy. Didn't really have the physical attributes or skills to be a good quarterback in the NFL. But a lot of those guys turn into good coaches, a la Frank Wright. So, guys, let's move over to Super Bowl props before we get into trivia, and then we'll talk about the game. I have a few.
Okay.
I have a few. How many you have, Shao?
I have a couple, but like I said, if you guys use them, I mean, I can pivot.
So do you want to do fun or do you want to do realistic? Control.
It doesn't matter. I got one fun one. The rest of mine are going to be towards the game itself.
Okay. I got one fun one too. I always have this fun one though.
Oh, absolutely. It is a staple here on Wire to Wire.
You're talking about the Gatorade color, right?
Absolutely.
Let's go. I know the Gatorade color, and it's great odds, and you should choose it right now.
I got the longest odds.
Oh, really?
For the Gatorade color.
None?
No.
Red?
Red.
I got red too.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think the Patriots win in red.
See, I don't have the Patriots winning, but I got red.
I have.
What odds did you see?
Plus 1,200.
Okay, I saw plus 1,400, so I'm with you. Long odds. I'm there.
Red, baby.
Bill, did you have a Gatorade color?
Going great.
You got purple. Okay.
Purple.
Purple's a long shot too. It's like 7 to 750. But favorites are orange, yellow, green, and blue. Here's a real one. Player to record the most rushing yards in the game. Plus 500. Give me Drake, May. To record the most rushing yards in the game. Both teams have incredibly good run defenses. Ramondre Stevenson, Kenneth Walker are both going to get the heavy dosage of yards. Drake May as a quarterback runs very well. He's had the most rushing yards in 2 of his 3 games, so I will take Drake May.
Well, I will kind of go right off of that because I also think we're going to see more rushing yards from Drake May, and I think that is going to lead to less rushing yards from a Ramondre Stevenson. So give me the under for Ramondre Stevenson at 49.5. I 100% think this is going to be a rushing by committee where you get May, you get Henderson. Obviously, Ramondre gets there as well. But I think you're going to have to get away from your traditional rush and attack to have success against this Seahawks front.
Shall?
I'm going to switch gears from the players and go to first half total, which is 23.5. I love the under. And again, we both mentioned, you guys both did, great defenses, great run defenses from both squads, which a lot of coaches like to come out, try to establish, kind of, get your foot in the game and kind of, settle down. I think this is a lower scoring game in the first half. I think it'll take a couple drives for each team to really get going. 23.5 is the total. I like the under. I think it's something probably like 10-7, maybe 13-7 at half. I don't think it's a crazy offensive first half.
Well, that plays into one of my props. Neither team to score a point on their first drive. It's plus 155. I don't know how that's plus money. The Patriots have not scored a point on their first drive in either of their 3 playoff games, where the Seahawks have scored a point in their first drive in 2 of their 3. Or 2 of their only 2. Sorry, they didn't play 3. But I'll go with no points scored first drive, either team, at plus 155.
All right. Defense seems to be the story of these prop bets so far, and I'll stick with it. Both teams to record an interception is at plus 180. I love those odds. I think Sam Darnold is going to be a little flustered seeing the Patriots defense. I do think they're going to be flying around. But on the flip side of it, Drake May has been a turnover machine so far in the playoffs, and it hasn't come to bite New England at all. But I do think this is going to be more of the same. I think both defense are going to be up to the challenge here, and I think both quarterbacks turn the ball over in their first Super Bowl appearance.
I like it. Sam Darnold actually has appeared in a Super Bowl before. On the sideline as a backup quarterback. He's went through the interviews.
I'm like, when did he appear in a game?
Hey, listen, don't hate me for my knowledge. Shai, I got 3 more. How many more you got?
I have 2, but I have another one I can use if we're going to go back around another time. So I got player to record a 40-yard completion. Sam Darnold plus 150. I like it. I think either in Jigba or maybe one of the other guys gets loose. There's always at least a couple of big plays in every Super Bowl, no matter how good the defenses are. I think Seattle gets one before New England. I'm going plus 150 there.
I'm fading Sam Darnold. Player, I'm taking the field for Super Bowl MVP at minus 155. Sam Darnold versus the field is minus 155.
Okay. Well, I guess I can play into that one as well here, because I think if the Seahawks do win the Super Bowl and it's not Sam Darnold, the guy that has to do it will be Jackson Smith and Jigba. And the way to do that is catching a ton of balls. It's not even that. Nothing crazy. I got Jason over 6.5 receptions for this football game. He's done it 13 times this season, and I think he's going to.
Is over under is only
6.5. Yeah,
slamming the over.
Yeah, I like the over. I think he's going to be a focal point for this offense, obviously, and Kubiak's done a really good job of, even when teams try to take him away, they hide him in formations. They'll put him in the slot in a bunch formation, or they put him in motion a ton, or give him passes out the backfield. So I think Seattle be creative, and I like his over 6.5 number.
To stick with Njigba, I had him. A lot of people, I feel like everything I've watched, a lot of people think he's going to be between 50 and 60, 50, 65 yards receiving. They think New England's really going to try to take him away, which I agree with. To your point, though, I think Kubiak's going to move him around enough where I think it's going to be tough. I think he goes for 80 plus to kind of jump on what both of you guys just said. I think they're going to find ways to get the ball in his hand. I don't think he goes nuts for 150 or anything like that, but I think he goes for 80. I think he goes for 80 yards plus in the game total, right around even money right now. I really like that for Seattle as well.
It's probably my favorite one. My favorite one of them all. When you look at this game and you break it down from a schematics point of view, like obviously like it's 2 good defenses playing against each other. One of the props that stands out to me the most is, will there be a 2-point conversion attempt? And I'm going yes at plus 145. Just an attempt at a 2-point conversion. I think it's going to happen. I think someone will take a shot at it. And I'll take a yes at plus 145.
All right, I just got two more here. Both are Patriots ones, ironically. Here I am going Hunter Henry under 3.5 receptions. Patriots have played 3 playoff games so far, and he has not had 4 receptions yet in any of the 4. I don't know if that connection will be locked in for the playoffs or anything like that, but it seems like the Patriots are not making Hunter Henry a focal point so far. They really haven't needed to, so I will take the under 3.5 receptions for Mr. Hunter Henry.
This is one of my more fun ones. Sam Darnold and Drake May to each record at least 20 yards passing in each quarter right now is plus 250. I think there's a decent shot that happens. I think it's a good one to go out a little bit of a limb on.
Talk about a little bit of a limb. I'll take plus 600. Will a defensive touchdown be scored in the game? I'm going to go yes.
Oh.
All right. This is
on you because that was my last one. So
this is my last one here. And funny enough, I've taken it the last 2 Super Bowls, and they've both hit. You take the backup running back's yards. Give me Travion Henderson over 2.5 receiving yards.
This is my Ohio State connection all over again.
This is the one Ohio State connection. But last year, Kenneth Gainwell got me it. Kenneth Gainwell, I think he's got me it twice since we've done the show. But Travion Henderson, 2.5 receiving yards. I think there'd be an insane reason not to at least get him a screen pass or just a check down, something. 2.5 yards should be a gimme for Travion Henderson in the receiving game.
I'm putting it all on tails this year, John. All on tails.
Bet your mortgage on tails?
Listen, I've checked the head officials' flipping ability. I'm kidding.
He's got a 78% tails flip rate.
He's just his flip rate is 48% heads and 52% tails. I like those odds. All right, I'm kidding. Trivia. Is anyone prepared for that?
I am.
All right. Shally, ready to rock and roll? Hopefully it's Super Bowl trivia. Comment, guys, you can feel free to type all your answers in the comments. I'm officially turning them off now. And I'm ready to rock and roll. Let me close that out, and we are good.
All right. So let me do this. Get this back up here. I had it ready to go. All right. There we go. So, Gene, you last week gave me an excellent idea, and I do have a backup question here as well. But you gave us a Super Bowl question, and I'm going to follow it up with another Super Bowl question.
Okay.
You gave us receivers. This time we're going quarterbacks. Or maybe we're not going quarterbacks. I don't know. But in Super Bowl history, most career pass attempts, or top 10 most career pass attempts in a Super Bowl game.
In one game?
No, in your career. Career Super Bowl attempts.
All right, that's pretty easy. I think there's 6 or 7 that should easily fly off the tongue. Shal, you won last week, so if you want to take the low-hanging fruit, you're more than welcome to.
I guess I'll go with Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, number 1, 421 attempts.
Then I'll go with the other one, which is Patrick Mahomes. He's been in like 5 of them already.
Patrick Mahomes, number 2, 196 pass attempts.
Give me Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly is number 5 with 145 pass attempts.
He made 4 Super Bowls. Give me Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is number 3 with 155 career pass attempts.
Who else has made a bunch? Give me John Elway.
John Elway is number 4 with 152 pass attempts. You guys knocked out the top 5 rather quickly.
I think after 5, it gets a little bit like the roads get muddier. So I'm just gonna take, like, I guess the short hanging fruit. Joe Montana has played in 4 Super Bowls.
God damn it. He's got to be on there.
Joe Montana is number 7 at 122 pass attempts.
They ran the ball a lot, but they went to a lot of Super Bowls. I'll go with Aikman.
Troy Aikman is not on the list.
Shocking.
That is shocking.
Trying to think guys that made a lot of Super Bowls. I have 4 names, and I think 2 of them will be on there. I just don't know.
All right. Give me one.
They didn't throw the ball in the 70s.
All right.
John Elway.
John Elway was already said. Need another one.
I was stalling.
All right. Now we really need one.
That's like a Paul George excuse. He should get skipped.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger is number 9 with 91 pass attempts.
91 helps me out a ton. I need to hear that number.
91? And what number is he?
Number 9.
So that means you really only have to play in 3.
I got one name that's definitely in then. Strategically. What's the score?
We are 4-3. How many you got left? 1, 2. Yeah, it's 4-3. Gene.
I haven't missed yet. My next guess is going to be throwing a dart at the board. I'm sure one of them, of the 3 of them, will be there. I just don't know. I'm playing that game of roulette.
I'll go. How many did he make? He definitely 92 was the number.
Yes.
91.
91. All right, I'm going Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, number 6 with 132 pass attempts.
He played in 4, right?
3.
Oh, 3.
Oh no, did he get there in Arizona?
Arizona, he got there.
Yeah, that's right.
He wasn't one of my 3 names. I don't want to give one away because I feel like the other one's going to be there. Oh. I have 2 70s quarterbacks and a 90s quarterback. I just want to let everybody know where I'm at.
I have one old guy and one new guy.
I just want to let everybody
know. The new guys on the list, I'm actually going to kind of be disgusted. Whoa. But
I don't know what happened there. That was weird.
I don't know. My computer's been crazy.
Give me. Oh, he doesn't throw the ball, but 90's low. Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw is not in the top 10.
Fuck.
They made it to a ton of Super Bowls, bro.
Like 5.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Even at 5 Super Bowls, he's been 90 times.
The
guy's like, I'm one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Shut the fuck up.
How many were we missing?
2.
Okay.
Number 8, number 10.
That really hurts my other old one. Because I feel like he's even older. I feel like the third ball had been less. I'm going to say, I just hope he's not on the list. I'm going Eli.
Eli Manning is not in the top 10.
My 90s guy, I feel like he made it 3 times. He won it once and lost twice. No, he made it twice. I can't justifiably put somebody there that made it twice. My 70s guy made it 4 times, so I'm going to take a shot. Roger Staubach.
Roger Staubach is number 8, 98 pass attempts.
4 games, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Luckily, my Super Bowl knowledge from 5 to 12 is a little better than I expected it to be. I think he made 7, 8, 10, and 12. I'm not but that's just me being.
I feel like it's got to be an old guy.
Well, whenever you guys are ready for the hints, I will give it to you.
I mean, if Shy doesn't get this, let's just call it a wrap. It's 5-4. I don't know who my next guest was. The last one, number 10?
Correct.
Okay, so that one, I guess. Can you tell us how low? Never mind. Because, like, that could be 2 games. Like, it could be a drop-off from 9 to 10. I don't know.
I mean, it's the beginning of the round. Can we have the number?
Yeah. You guys want the number of pass attempts?
Yeah, I'll take the pass time number. I'm going to go with that.
89.
It's 3 games then. That's 3 games. There's no way. Unless it's like a modern-day guy that made it, like, and threw.
There's nobody that made it numerous times, though.
That'd be two games of 45 attempts or more. Crazy.
Yeah. That's why I think it's got to be.
All I did was I just thought about how many times quarterbacks went to the Super Bowl. That was my only logic.
Staubach made me think a little bit.
He just went 4 times. That's literally like just the odds. I played the odds.
I just don't know how many times he went. I know he went a bunch, but I know he was also one of the older guys that kind of started throwing the ball more than other guys.
I mean,
Minnesota. Oh, man.
If you're thinking of who I'm thinking of, I think he made it 3 times.
I think they made it 3-2. And like I said, I think he's one of the guys that kind of like threw the ball more than other guys.
Lost twice, won once.
I don't know.
And you might as well take a shot at it because that's a good guess.
I'll go with Fran.
It's got it. I mean, he went 3 times.
If it's not him, then it's. I mean, Gene wins, but I just don't know who else it could possibly be.
Fran Tarkenton is number 10 with 89 pass attempts.
3 games, right?
3 games.
Yeah. They won 1, lost 2. Purple People Eater defense.
All right, so I also do have a backup question here.
We can't go a whole question.
It's not a question. It's just I want to go until one of you miss.
Yeah, I got it.
And I'm going to give you a fair warning here as well. I have the top 10, same category here, Super Bowls. It's career passer rating. Now, with that said, I'm going to eliminate 2 because there are only 2 players that were in the top 10 of career pass attempts that are also in this category, and that is Joe Montana and Tom Brady.
So just
that makes sense? Passer rating. And this is a minimum of 40 attempts.
So somebody, whoa.
So it's not just the one player threw 1 touchdown and they had a high passer rating.
No, 40
minimum of 40 attempts.
But that means almost 2 games, though.
I had the backup question. I knew it'd be a little bit tougher. Right, I don't know.
Whoever
gotta go back
is that how it goes?
Well, so you have Hammer now, so you're going to go first on the category here. Okay. So if you get it right, Bill gets it wrong. Obviously, you win. You get it wrong, Bill gets it right, he wins. So we're going to go, and that's how we're going to have to get this here.
And we took who? Montana and who?
Montana and Brady are the only 2 that were on the previous list that are now on this career passer rating list.
See, the funny thing is, I think one Eagle would definitely have been on it if I don't know if he threw 40 times in that one game. Like Nick Foles would 100% be on it if he threw 40 times. I don't know if he threw 40 times. I'll tell you another Eagle that did throw 40 times and did have a great Super Bowl twice. It's got to be in the top 10. Give me Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is number 6 with a 109.4 passer rating.
The other one is on there if he has 40 attempts. I just don't know if he has 40 attempts.
Bill, it is on you, my friend.
I don't know if I can risk that.
It's not going to be Elway because he had 3 awful Super Bowls before he had 2 good ones. Kelly didn't have great ones.
You're kind of
leaning it.
Who was super efficient? 40 attempts. I'm gonna go gut. I'm gonna go Aikman.
That was one of them, a great guess.
Troy Aikman, number 5, 111.9 passer
Yeah,
rating.
it's a great guess. He won 3 Super Bowls like in a row. He can't have a bad rating. This guy made it. Oh, all right. They scored 41 points. It's hard for me to believe he didn't throw the ball 40 times. They couldn't run the ball. Nick Foles.
Nick Foles is number 7, 106.1.
How many attempts?
I don't know how many attempts he had.
Okay.
But he is on the list here.
I literally I'm like, it's got to be 40 attempts. I'd say another guy, if he didn't skunk last year, I think he had a quarterback rating of 4. What?
He had 44 pass attempts, Gene, for what it's worth. Nick
44?
Foles had 44.
Go Birds! You kid? I'm just kidding.
Bill, it is on you, my friend, to stay alive.
I'm gonna go. He only made one. I know he had one really, really good one, and I think he even played pretty well in the loss to Denver in the other one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna go with Favre.
Brett Favre is number 10, 97.6.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner is not in the top 10 here.
How? How is Brett Favre on that list and Kurt Warner's not? As soon as he said Favre, I'm like, well, Warner played in 3 and he played really well. You got to still name one.
I know.
You do need to name one. Gene, actually, now that we're here, Gene, I feel like you should have another guess here. Reason being, I told you guys before the start of this, Kurt Warner was on the career pass attempts list. There's only 2 guys, and they were Montana and Brady.
Okay. So what does that mean?
You guessed Warner, and I
because
told you he wasn't on the list.
That were,
I told you that was the prerequisite leading into.
I didn't listen. That's my mistake. I don't want another time. That's cheating. That's cheating. I'm good. I'll live with my L. I'm an adult. He still has to name one.
I just trashed the guy, but he's probably on this list. They went to 5. He would have to throw the ball 8 times a game to get there. I'm sure he did that. I'll go with the self-proclaimed GOAT, Terry Bradshaw.
His computer's messing up. He just froze.
This is.
He's back. He went with Terry Bradshaw.
Tune in next week to see who won.
I don't know what's going on with my computer today, but Terry Bradshaw is the answer.
That was his guess.
Yes.
Terry Bradshaw is number 4, 112.8.
I feel disgusting for even winning with him.
Well, hey, a win's a win.
I really do.
Rest of the guys in the list though, Jim Plunkett was at number 2, 122.8.
Wouldn't have got that.
You have Bart Starr, number
Jesus.
8,
I wouldn't have got
106 passer rating, and then you guys got everybody else.
I wouldn't have got Plunkett or Starr, so it is what it is. I can't believe Kurt Warner's not on that list.
Is he? He's got to be close.
I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't remember him having a bad Super Bowl.
No, even the one he lost. I thought that's who you were going to guess because the one he lost versus the Steelers, they like went back and forth. That was the Fitzgerald went nuts game. That was a great football game. Greatest show on turf. Like, I don't understand how he wouldn't be on that list.
It's Fugazi.
Let's see where he was at. He was right outside of it. He's at 96.7.
Okay,
Where
what
does
was
that
10?
put him?
10 was at 97.6.
Within 1 point.
Less than a point.
Yep. That's what it is. I mean, hey, listen, Kurt Warner, I felt like was the right guess. I'm happy with my guess. Guys,
he's right there.
We got to get into the Super Bowl, the game itself. I have a different pick than you two. I'm sure of it.
Well, we know.
I feel it in my gut. I broke this game down 100 times. I'm kidding. I said 73 straight hours watching film. Ron Jaworski. But you got the Patriots and Drake May versus Matthew Stafford and the Seattle Seahawks. If you take the quarterbacks off the rosters, I think these rosters are identical. I think they're identical. I think the defenses are identical. They both have grade A shutdown corners in Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez. I think they have great interior run defense and great exterior pass defense. I think they both struggle in the same spot. I think they're a little light at the linebacker position, both of them. Going to offense, I think their offensive line is great in interior. Their tackles leave a little bit to be desired on both sides. I think JSN is the ultimate weapon for the Seattle Seahawks that the Patriots do not have. But I feel like Drake May is the better quarterback of the two. You're talking about the probably runner-up for MVP. And I think going into this game, this guy's as cold as ice. I'm going with Rabel. I'm going with Drake May. I think they find a way to win the game. I think their defense shuts down Seattle. And I'll go with McDaniel over Kubiak and who figures out a way to move the ball efficiently against the other. I've watched Seattle's defense give up points this postseason. I have not watched the Patriots defense get scored on at all. In fact, Seattle's defense gave up as many points in their last game as the Patriots given up on all three. So I'm going to go with the New England Patriots to win a low-scoring game. John Suggs has almost my exact score. 23-17 Patriots. I'll take them plus the 4.5. I'll take the money line, and I'll take the under in the football game. Patriots win 23-17. And I will say this. I think a non-quarterback wins Super Bowl MVP this year.
Bill, you want me to go?
Whatever you want to do, brother.
I mean, I'll be quick here since I'm on the opposite side of Gene in this one. I think that the Patriots defense is absolutely incredible. I think that what they've been able to do offensively throughout the regular season with Drake May at the helm has been awesome to see. I've been critical of them with the running back share between Henderson and Stevenson, but to Stevenson's credit, he's definitely played the part as of late. Henderson hasn't even been able to see the field because Ramondre has been playing that well. You've seen an emergence of Stephon Diggs as of late there as well. But for me, I ultimately think this is going to be a game where it's going to come down to, putting points up on the board. And I think when Seattle is going down and scoring touchdowns, I think the Patriots are in turn going down and scoring field goals. So for me, I see Seattle winning this game. I think they cover the spread. I still think this is going to be an entertaining football game. Like, don't let my score fool you. I definitely think it's going to be an entertaining game and just go back and forth. But again, just to double down on what I said, I think it's going to be touchdowns versus field goals. So I'm rolling with Seattle here. I think it's going to be a 27-16 ball game. Again, just two scores, 11-point game there. But I just think Seattle is going to be able to punch it into the end zone more often than what the Patriots are going to do. I told you guys before during the prop bet session that I think both teams are going to throw interceptions here. And, ultimately, I think Seattle will be able to not only get the explosive plays, but when they absolutely need to, they'll be able to hand the ball off to Kenneth Walker and get the push, like how we saw them do in the NFC Championship game, where it felt like the Rams just needed one stop to get the ball back. Seattle was able to run the clock out and just fully rely on Kenneth Walker to keep the possession in their hands. And I think you're going to get a very similar story here in the Super Bowl towards the end of the fourth quarter there. So I like 27-16 with the Seahawks victory.
I'm going with Seattle as well. I think they're the better football team. I like New England's defense. I think New England has been fortunate to play who they have and kind of run into the injury situations and stuff that they have through the playoffs. I think Drake May is going to be a great quarterback. I don't think this will be the only Super Bowl he ever makes, but I like Seattle's offense way more than I like New England's outside of Drake May. I think they have weapons they can rely on. I know Stevenson's played real well with New England. Both teams have great run defenses, as Gene mentioned earlier. I think Seattle's defense will be fine and match up quite well with what New England wants to do. I think Sam Darnold kind of gets his, I don't know if you want to call it I told you so or whatever moment you want to call it, but I think kind of like Cottrell said, I think Seattle just has an easier time moving the ball and probably getting points on the board. I also think it's low scoring. I told you earlier in the prop bets, I like the under the first half. I like under for the whole game. I have 16 for New England, just like Cottrell did, but I have 24 for Seattle. I don't think the game goes over. I think it's more of a defensive battle. I think it'll be an entertaining game. I think it's a good football game. I think there'll be big plays and stuff like that. I think there'll be momentum shifts. I agree with both. I think, that there will be turnovers. I think the defenses will definitely factor into the game. But I like Kenneth Walker. And Jake Bush has been, a one-man wrecking crew. I think Cooper Kupp kind of has the farewell, kind of probably walk off into the sunset as well. He might have a couple of big catches. And like I said, I think Seattle just has a little bit more in the areas they need to. I think they win a real close competitive game.
Now, obviously, I think the Patriots have the ability to potentially win this game. But as a whole, as far as their journey and what you've seen from them to this point, the defense has been absolutely incredible. Like, don't get me wrong there, but am I a hater for saying this feels like one of the more fortunate runs a team has made? Not saying that they wouldn't have beat teams fully healthy, but this I feel like I haven't really gone into a Super Bowl that I can remember as of late where I'm like, man, if this doesn't happen, I don't know if this team is in the Super Bowl. Like I have so many question marks for a team that's been absolutely dominant on defense. And is that me hating on the Patriots here, or is there some validity to it?
Same way for me. I mean, there's validity to it to me. That's why I'm picking Seattle. I mean, you still have to beat who lines up against you and across from you, and I get all that, but they beat a Chargers team that was decimated offensively. They beat Houston, who were missing their best weapon outside of Stroud, but they also made C.J. Stroud play a terrible game, and the defense gets all the credit in the world for that. And then you go to Denver and play a backup quarterback to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, again, that's not their fault. They did what they needed to do to win those games. And I even said last week, I think Mike Rabel put a certain game plan in place for that Denver game to once they got up to just be like, let's not make mistakes. We're going to win this game. We'll rely on our defense. Jarrett Stidham's not going to beat us. So again, I think if Bo Nix plays in that game and New England had to do different things, they were very capable of doing so. I don't think the game would have played out that way if Bo Nix was healthy. So I'm not gonna trash New England for that. But it's a fortunate run. But again, there's plenty of teams that have had those runs before and they don't take advantage of it. So I agree with you, but to your point, I have questions. So that's why I took Seattle.
So it's very easy to look at the playoff and say during a snow bowl, they only scored 10 points to win 10-7, or during another game versus the Texans, they scored 28 points, or versus the Chargers, they scored 16. But I want to read something to you guys. 38, 42, 28, 31, 33, 26, 27, 28, 24, 32, 31, 25, 23, and 42. That was the Patriots' last 12 games of the regular season, how many points they scored. They scored that many points in the Super Bowl, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
So while I hear what you're saying and I understand why you would have confidence into that number itself there, I also have to look at the totality of that and see that it's not just one thing to say that the Patriots had a easy schedule this season. Historically,
they played at Baltimore. They played at home versus Buffalo.
Understandably so. Historically speaking, though, this is the second easiest schedule in the history of the NFL, percentage-wise, opponents of who they faced.
I don't believe in that.
Why don't you believe in it?
Because percentage-wise means nothing. You don't know when you're catching a team. You don't know why that team folded.
So they beat bad teams while they were bad.
Or they could beat a surging team when they were doing what? Like the Ravens weren't bad when they beat the Ravens.
The Ravens didn't make the playoffs this year. The Ravens weren't the Ravens all season.
Got hurt the last couple of games of the season.
Well, he was healthy at the end of the year, and they still didn't make the playoffs. They had a chance to win and get in the playoffs, and they didn't do it against a really bad Steelers team. Let's be honest with ourselves. The Steelers weren't a good football team.
I find it interesting that you guys both picked Houston to win the Super Bowl, but when they beat them 28-16, it didn't matter.
When we picked them, Nico Collins wasn't hurt.
Yeah, but did that stop them from scoring 28 points versus Houston?
No, but let's not act like they didn't score any defensive points in that football game. Like that did also happen. It's not like the offense went down and scored 28 points on Houston's defense. Like that's not what happened that football game.
3 weather games in a row. This game's going to be played indoors on carpet. Or no, outdoors, but not carpet. But it'll be like a beautiful day. It's in San Francisco. It's not going to be like they're playing in the snow like they have the last 3 weeks. They played in snow versus the Chargers. They played in snow versus the Texans. And they played in snow versus the Broncos.
But you're acting like it snowed the entire game against Denver. It didn't start snowing. The weather didn't pick up until the middle of the third quarter. And it was 10-7 at that point.
Guys, I very, very comfortably picking the Patriots. We can talk about this next week when I'm right. And you guys go, oh, well, an easy road again. They beat Sam Darnold. And then we'll talk about that afterwards. Because when Sam Darnold folds in the Super Bowl, we'll go, look at the teams they beat. They beat Sam Darnold, and I guarantee it.
It has the Seahawks are 100% healthy right now. And we talked about the Patriots schedule really throughout the course of the regular season there, because I had said they hadn't beat a good team since October. And then they finally had the big game against the Bills in that matchup, and then they lost the regular season matchup against them. So like the question marks have been there. It's not like this is just some new thing because the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. It's just I think they've had a very fortunate run. And I think it's okay to say that while also saying that they're playing really good football on the defensive side of the ball.
We'll find out next week. And I don't like always being right, but you're supposed to laugh at that. They lost 35-31, by the way. I agree. I hate I'm agreeing with John Suggs.
Did they not blow that football game, though?
They did. They blew a football game during the season.
All right. I had question marks about
games this year.
I had question marks. The point is I had question marks about can they beat a good football team? They play a good football team, they lose. I didn't say the game wasn't close. I didn't say they didn't have a chance to win.
They also beat Buffalo in Buffalo.
You're right. They did. You give them a ton of credit for that. Absolutely.
They beat Houston, who's a good football team. Who you guys both
number one receiver.
I mean, guys, injuries happen. When the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, they won games without their starting quarterback, their starting left tackle. Like it happened.
Absolutely. But if they didn't do that, I would say it is very valid to say, oh, well, I can't imagine what that football game would ultimately look like if Carson Wentz was there. Like Nick Foles just happened to play out of his mind. But if Nick Foles played pedestrian and played like a backup quarterback, then I definitely would have question marks about if the Patriots were truly the better football team.
I understand your logic. My first gut reaction was Seattle. I've changed my mind after looking at everything. And I hate to say it. I don't want New England to keep winning Super Bowls. I can't stand. I'll tell you right now, New England fans are literally the most pretentious bunch of douchebags you'll ever talk to about sports. But with that being said, they got a really good fucking team. I have to be honest about that. We'll find out. We got a couple more things to cover. It looks like all three of us have the under, so this game will probably be 35-31.
Tell you who that favors.
All right. Let's move on to talk about a terrible UFC card. I mean, guys, the back-to-back numbered cards was not a good pull. Wasn't great for the UFC, and the card kind of sucked. So, Control, where would you like to start with this brutal card that we watched?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only fight I saw was the main event. So
I watched them all,
and I watched it on replay. Like I did not watch this card live. Actually, I lied. I also watched the Bam Bam fight because that was also what made me turn it off. That's what made me turn it off. So I was like, all right, I'll just watch this back when it's out because Paramount does a great job. I'll give Paramount their due again. They have all the events and they have them broken down already for you. You don't have to fast forward through them. They have each fight from the beginning. So after watching the Bam Bam fight, third round, I thought he had the opportunity to finish the fight. He slips, he falls, and both of these guys are out of gas at the end. They're just, I don't even know what they were doing. So that turned it completely off for me. So you can start wherever you want to start, Gene.
The Benitez and Denise fight, Dan Hooker's washed. I don't know how he gets a co-main event. I don't understand how that happens. I knew what was going to happen before that fight started. He landed 171 strikes in a round and a half. I don't know how Dan Hooker withstood all the strikes that he landed. The referee let it go on way too long. And then as far as the Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes fight, Volk did exactly what I said he was going to do. He absolutely controlled the fight. He was more technical. Diego Lopes has 2 broken feet, by the way, which is incredible, knowing that he finished that fight with 2 broken feet. And I love the guy. I think he's always smiling. He's got a great attitude. I think he's a great fighter. But Volk is too technical for him. And if you're not going to knock him out like Islam did, or knock him out like Ilya did, I don't think you're going to beat a technical fighter like that. The first fight when I watched Islam fight Volk, I don't know if Islam won that fight. When you go to a decision with him, it's very rare you win the decision. And I knew if Lopes didn't knock him out, he had no chance.
Agreed.
That's how I seen the card.
That was exactly how I saw the fight going as well. I said I thought it was going to be 4-1 last week, and it was, I mean, to the T, essentially. Volkanovski is really good, man. And, you know, you talk about being technical and knocking them out. There's not many guys that have the ability to do that, especially at that weight class. Like, let's not forget that when Volk got knocked out by Islam, that was at 155. And I get it. Facts. And I get it too that Ilya also had knocked him out, and that was at 145. But you also have to realize that Ilya is a guy who was very similar to Conor back in the day, where he was walking into fight week like 170 and he's dropping a ton of weight to get down to 145. And we see he has the power to still knock guys out at 155 right now, like how he did Charles Oliveira, who's one of the toughest guys in the business. So I think getting in there with Volk at 145 is a hell of a challenge, and you have to be, you know, one of the top dogs to go in there and take it to him like that. Now, just like you said, Gene, I think Diego Lopes is a really good fighter, and I think he, you know, has a high upside to him. But while Volk is in that division right now, you absolutely have to knock him out to get him out of there. And we've seen him even go against guys that have the knockout power. But if you're not elite mixed with the power, it's not going to work out well for you. Like the guy who I immediately think of is Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett is this huge 145er, massive power. And but Volk made light work of him in their fight. So you have to have the power, you have to have the precision, you have to have the technical skill there as well. And Volk's just at the top of his game still right now. So it's going to be really hard to dethrone him.
Xiao?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much really to add or say without sounding repetitive. Volk is the elite of the elite. Again, we're talking about everybody, you know, that he's pretty much dominated or controlled other than Islam. And like Gene said, I mean, I think there's some people that would argue he might have won that fight. So he was dominant. I will say any guy that gets in there and fights for 25 rounds with 2 broken feet is insane. And that just lets you know that these guys are crazy in a good way, but they're different. You have to want to get in a cage and know some guy's going to try to beat you up for 25 minutes and do that for a living. You're a little bit different. Some would say off, but you're different. But the rest of the card was whatever. Again, back-to-back weekends. I don't know whose bright idea that was. I guess Dana's, but I think they just wanted to celebrate the new Paramount deal a little too much, but I don't think it needed to be done. And I guess they didn't want to go up against the NFL this weekend, but I don't know why it really would have mattered being Saturday night versus Sunday. But folks,
they still went up against boxing, so I don't negate it either with that point.
They also went up against the Royal Rumble, but
if it wasn't in Saudi Arabia, they would have been.
I know. TKO did that 2 straight weeks, Saturday night's main event and UFC, and then the Royal Rumble, which ended at like 6, and then the UFC card started. I don't know how much time in your life you can devote to TKO, but I don't know.
They want it all, apparently.
I mean, they're in debt, so they're trying to get as much of it back as they can.
You can tell. Watch that card. You can tell. Fucking commercials during walkouts, like it's insane. Guys, I don't want to sign up for Paramount if I can't watch walkouts at this point. Like I can't watch walkouts. They're doing commercials during walkouts.
Mentioned that last week. I was like, I like being able to just hop on and the broadcast is clean, but the ads will drive you crazy. Doing it even in the corner conversations. Like I like to hear what the corners are telling these guys. Like because sometimes they give them great advice. Sometimes they tell them the dumbest things in the world. They're like, you just won that round.
Right after the fight. After the fight, like after decisions made, when they're cleaning up the ring, run the commercial. I don't need to hear Daniel Cormier talk for 5 minutes in between fights. Just run the commercial then.
Or right before, because they're on a schedule anyway, so run them right before walkouts start.
Correct.
Like, all right, we're gonna get to walkouts right after we get this word from OxyClean. Like, just throw them in there and we'd be good to go.
That's all the time I wanted to dedicate to UFC tonight. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm very honest. Super Bowl, NBA trade deadline. College basketball is more exciting right now. You had a great game the other night, and I think it could be a preview of the national championship with Arizona versus Florida. I don't care where Florida's ranked. You watch Florida play basketball right now. Talk about team making their stride right now. That game versus Arizona was incredible. 93-87. Arizona's undefeated. Florida gave them everything they can handle. Bogey Flynn is everything that we said he was going to be preseason. You got great teams in college basketball this year. There's 13, 14 teams that can win the national championship. And Florida's one of them.
Of those 13 to 14 teams, Gene, because I know we had this conversation a little bit in the group when they played Michigan. Do you think Nebraska is one of those teams that fall in that category?
No, I don't think they can go on a run like that, but I don't think Michigan is either.
That's fine. I just more so meant with I think Michigan, for me, 100% falls in the category of could win a national championship this year, but curious.
I got to watch more of them. I don't want to lie to you. Like, I got to watch more of them. I'll tell you right now, I watched one of the worst basketball games ever watching them go against Nebraska. That shit was
second half of that game was brutal.
It's a terrible basketball game. But they didn't. Then they went into Michigan State and smacked them around. So I don't know. They don't look like they're that good. I watched a team like Florida, and I understand the records and the rankings, but like I could watch both those teams and tell you who's the better basketball team.
Bill, you gonna defend your squad?
I think their play and their record and everything else. I really don't have to get into this back and forth with it. Michigan's probably the best defensive team in the country. And when they don't turn the ball over, they smack everybody. They played horrible against Nebraska the other night. Still won. I think Nebraska's a good team. I just don't think I think that 20-0 gave a lot of people this false sense of hope that they were going to, be some kind of Cinderella juggernaut. They've lost 2 in a row now. But I think Michigan's one of, I would say probably still 4 or 5 teams that I think have a little bit of a step up against everybody else to win a national championship. And then I think there's another tier below that. I mean, I've watched Florida play 3 times, well, 2.5 times. I think they go in spurts where they look good, but I saw them play against, I'm going to say, Alabama. They almost lost that game. They're kids. Any given night, man, you a whole bunch of kids go out and play. They look incredible, and the next night, you could be like, I can't believe this is the same team I just watched. And that's why the tournament's hard. It's what team can go put 6 games together and not have the clunker somewhere. So, because usually especially the further you get into the tournament, if you have the clunker, you're probably going home. So, Florida's good. I think Arizona's really good. Michigan, Duke, UConn has been a little bit better than I thought they were going to be. And then I think I like Purdue, but they've lost 3 in a row. They haven't been. They're struggling to score. And then you have that next group with Nebraska, Iowa State. Houston's probably in between the 2 tiers for me. But there's a lot of good teams this year. It's going to be fun.
There's definitely a lot of good teams this year, Gene. And you asked me what I think. I agree with you in the sense that I legitimately think there might be 13, 14, maybe more teams that I would consider good enough to win a national championship this year. And I think that's absolutely wild to say. We always talk about the, disparity in college, the parity in college basketball, but this year I really feel like it's on full display. And the crazier part about it for me is that you have so many elite basketball teams this year. Like, we're talking about an undefeated Arizona team, a Michigan team at this point in the year that only has 1 loss, a UConn team, I think they only have 1 loss at this point. Like, there's so many good teams right now that have like 4 or less losses at this point in the season, and they are all incredible. And they have a player on their team that could potentially win. I shouldn't say could win player of the year, but absolutely could have All-American honors at least at the end of the year here. Like, I'm looking at a Kansas team that's not in the top 10, and they have, in my eyes, one of the best players in the country and with Darren. I look at, some of these other teams as well. Florida down there at, what are they, 16 or 17? Florida is absolutely incredible. I like Louisville. I've been high on Louisville all season. They definitely have the Jekyll and Hyde moments where some games they look really good. Some games they don't necessarily look as good there. North Carolina has looked really good this season, just with a couple losses there. And then I'm going to show some love. I don't necessarily think they're going to win a national championship this year or anything like that, but I'm going to show some love to the MAC. Miami of Ohio is 22-0 right now. Finally got in the top 25. I've had the luxury of watching them play a few times this year, and I saw them play against Kent. That game won the double overtime. They had no business winning, but they are a basketball team that finds a way to win these tight games. It feels like every game they're in, it goes down to the wire, whether it's Kent, whether it's Buffalo, whether it's Akron, whether it's OU. They find ways to win down the stretch here. So very curious to see what they look like against one of these, high major programs there. But look out for Miami to potentially steal a spot from a team on the bubble down the stretch if they do not win the MAC tournament. Because I think at this point, they're going to be an at-large, a team that gets an at-large bid.
Well, they better win the MAC. I think I like looking at futures, right? Like,
they're going to get an at-large bid, though, if they don't.
I think Purdue and Florida are your 2 future bets. I don't know why you wouldn't. Purdue lost 3 games in a row and dropped off the face of the map as far as futures go. They still have Braden Smith. They still have Kaufman Rent. They still have a good roster. And then Florida is the other team. One of them is plus 1,800. One of them is plus 2,200. Sprinkle $25 on both of them and cash them out when they get to the Final Four for quadruple your money. It's not a concept that you should miss out on. Obviously, your top 4 is really easy to talk about. Caden Boozer, Cam Boozer, the Dukies, they look really good. Michigan's good. I got to watch them more. Arizona's good. UConn's good. Houston's good. Illinois plays good at spurts.
Illinois is another team. That's
Illinois.
Illinois is very good.
Illinois is deep.
Yep.
So those are all teams that I would just look at when everything comes to shove. Just giving you my take. But
I like that. I like that second stretch that that you're way behind. That's way behind like a team like Florida. Like I'm looking at BYU at plus 4,500, and I argue that they have the best player in the country. Like I don't know why you wouldn't take a flyer on them. Or I see Louisville on here as well. I mean, obviously they're a team that I've personally just been high on, but North Carolina at plus 8,000. Like I definitely think these are all teams that could potentially make the Final Four, given potentially what region that they're in.
We're going to find out real quick because a lot of these teams all play each other in the next 3 weeks. So, I mean, Duke, North Carolina plays Saturday for the first time, and they turn back around and play another, I think, again in like a week and a half. Duke and Michigan play in 2 weeks on a neutral court. I don't know how the hell that got scheduled.
That's awesome.
This late in the year.
With with a week to go in the season. Michigan's got to play Illinois. They got to play Michigan State again. Purdue's got to play, I think, Michigan State, Illinois. Like they're all going to start slaughtering each other coming down the stretch here. So it's going to be there's a lot of really good basketball on the docket in the next 3 weeks. So we mentioned UConn earlier. UConn's only loss is to Arizona. So I mean there's a lot left to go here.
I got my calendar circled right now. Purdue, Michigan, February 17th. Circled on your calendar. I think Purdue dog walks them.
Dog walks. Wow.
Game's in Purdue, so let's be very clear. I think that's their Super Bowl, but I think that's the game that you watch Michigan and get a little bit exposed.
Okay. As much as I want to hate on Michigan, they got a good basketball team.
They do. They have a good defense. Their offense looks very sporadic. They turn the ball over a lot. Once again, have to watch them more. So maybe I should shut up and watch them more than a game and a half. Tell the truth. I don't want to lie to you and tell you I've watched them all season. I haven't. I watched them play a full game basketball, and I watched them play a half of basketball. And in that game and a half, I was not impressed. But I don't want to pretend I've watched them play all year. I haven't.
For me, it was not even that I'm saying that I think this team is world beaters, but the game where I was like, all right, Michigan is the real deal when I watched them play Gonzaga. Like that was the game for me that I was like, all right, this is a team that they have what it takes to go in a national championship potentially.
It's fair. I watched them play a half versus Michigan State. I watched them play Nebraska. That's all I've seen.
I mean, they're up by 20.5 against Michigan State. Michigan State closed it, and then they just went on like a 15-0 run to end the game.
Yeah,
that's at Michigan State, which is a way harder place to play than Purdue. So,
for what it's worth, though, I do think Michigan State is one of those teams that, and granted, their record says otherwise, but I think Michigan State's one of the teams that's severely overrated this season. And I've been on record saying that I think Nebraska is also.
Wouldn't argue with you because Michigan State's pulled 3 or 4 games out of the fire with like a minute to go that they had no business winning. I actually think they lost tonight.
Is
we're sitting here.
Pierce the brother of Jeremiah Pierce?
I don't know.
I mean, Michigan State's on the road at Minnesota. And they're down 10 with a minute to go. They're going to lose. So, I mean, I didn't bring them up for a reason. So,
Big Ten tournament will be fun. I think it's going to expose a couple other frauds. I think Michigan State and Nebraska. I hate to call them frauds, but that's how I feel.
Guys, let's get into you. Got to be kidding me.
All right, let me get mine here because I have it.
We only have to worry about 2.
I actually have a good one, but there's too much conflicting stuff coming out about it, so I'm not.
There was a couple that I could have went with, but the one that I have is I'm going to the UFC event, and I'm going to the weigh-ins. So you had Mr. Aaron Tao weigh in at 125.5, and he was supposed to be weighing in at 125 for a featherweight fight. So 122.5 is rather low, and he was the last guy to weigh in. So typically, if you don't know how the UFC shows work, if you're the last guy to weigh in, chances are you're trying to cut your weight as much as possible. You would think if you're at 122.5, you're the first guy up, you want to go in and get it taken care of so then you can go out and you can go eat. But no, this guy was last, and he came in 2.5 pounds under where he could have came in at. So everyone is confused at the weigh-in show. They're like, well, how did he weigh in? Why did he weigh in last if he's so light? So they take the covering away from him down. They're like, all right, well, we're gonna put you on the scale again. Something's not right here. They put him back on the scale, and there's no curtain, and he weighs 129 pounds. Not only is he overweight, he is 4 pounds over where he's supposed to be, and a 7-pound difference from his original weigh-in. So you go back, you watch the video, and you see he has his heels off the scale, and he's putting his elbows on the curtain that's in front of him. So we saw this kind of play out a few years ago with DC. He the little towel trick that he kind of got away with. Well, he tried to do that, and he took it to the absolute extreme. So not only did he cheat, but he made himself the spectacle here. The fight got canceled. He probably won't fight again in the UFC, and he absolutely probably ruined his career by missing weight this egregiously. So Aaron Tal, not only do you get this for missing weight, but you get it for the fact that you were the absolute worst mastermind of trying to flaw the system here. So this week for me, Aaron Tal.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
I know I'm late on this, but I didn't get a chance to fully go off on it. Cam Newton's a moron, and I'm so sick of hearing him talk, and I hate that we're talking about this, and it's my fault for bringing it up. Cam Newton said that Drake May is not the reason the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, and compared him to Rex Grossman, Brent Dilfer, and who's the third one? Brad Johnson, as system quarterbacks that were carried by their defense to be able to make the Super Bowl. I don't know why Cam Newton has this, he locks in the certain quarterbacks and just takes shot after shot after shot. He said the Patriots had a very easy schedule and they'll probably be one and done. 3 wins later, they're in the Super Bowl. So he was asked about it again. He said, well, Drake May's not the reason they're in the Super Bowl. They're in the Super Bowl because of that defense. And he's going to get compared to Tom Brady if he wins the Super Bowl and he doesn't deserve it, which is so ridiculous. So, Cam, I just want to share a little facts with you because I went and looked them up. Brad Johnson finished 7th in MVP voting one time. So, let's give him credit. It was with the Minnesota Vikings. He finished 7th. Trent Dilfer never has logged an MVP vote. Rex Grossman has never logged an MVP vote. Drake May is probably going to finish 2nd this year for MVP. Could win it. Let's not pretend that Drake May is on the same caliber as Rex Grossman, Brent Dilfer. I know you don't like the Patriots because they discarded you for Mac Jones when they told you you're going to be the starter. I understand that you have some type of affiliation with young quarterbacks winning the Super Bowl because you've never won one. What I will also say is you're a full-blown hater. And when you're wrong, you double and triple and quadruple down on the same wrong fact. You did it last year with Jalen Hurts, and you're doing it this year with Drake May. Last year, it blew up in your face. This year, it's going to blow up in your face again. So for this week, Cam Newton.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
What a moron.
Also could have used, and I almost did, Sha'Carri Richardson. Got caught speeding 100 miles per hour, pulled in front of not only was she speeding, but she pulled in front of a cop at 100 miles per hour. And then he pulls up to her window and he's like, yeah, I got to take you to jail. And she's like, what? Like, I didn't even know I was speeding. Like, I wasn't intentionally speeding. Like, what? The dash cam footage for that was so damning, but
not flattering.
I can't. I can't. Gentlemen, any final thoughts?
Got nothing. I got a question though for you guys.
Yes,
what's on the Super Bowl menu? I'm looking for some inspiration here. I think chicken wings have made their staple on the menu, but I'm looking for some extra motivation.
I'm wearing a hoodie intentionally because I've been massively losing weight, and when I get to the point where I want to show like the full difference, I will. But wings are what I'll be eating in the Super Bowl. I'll tell you the one thing I always love to see when I go to a Super Bowl party is buffalo chicken dip. I probably won't be eating it much of that this year, but buffalo chicken dip is definitely the go-to Super Bowl snack. Give me those Tostitos scoops with some buffalo chicken dip.
Yep.
And some chicken wings. Let's call it a day. I love the cheesesteak egg rolls. By the way, I owe Mr. Eric Rosenblum a cheesesteak, so I'm gonna go down there and deliver you one like within the next couple weeks.
Bill, what's on the Super Bowl menu?
I'm kind of like you guys. I'm more of a traditionalist. You know, wings, any kind of dip. I don't like buffalo chicken dip. I got like a good pizza dip though. Obviously pizza, cheesesteak egg rolls, anything like that I think you can kind of load
Go back
up
to,
on and
and go back to throughout the course of the game.
Yep, and munch on stuff that doesn't need a lot of, maintenance or, prep time, because the last thing you want to do is have to worry about cooking food or heating food. Like once you want to sit down, you just want to eat and watch. So any kind of snack, finger food, pigs in a blanket, anything like that, they all work.
I like pigs and I like my blankets. I'm kidding.
Jesus.
That was all I had.
That's it. That's all we got for today. I do have one final comment. Do you have a final comment, Joe?
I don't. I'm good this week, brother.
I'm early on this one for a reason. I don't even know if he's going to listen to the show. But first of all, let me give an early birthday shout out to Nico Hurtado. His birthday is Friday, aka Little Tribal Chief. We went to see Monday Night Raw together, and man, that was a great time. And I want to give Nico a shout out. Hope he hears it. Hopefully Nick or Tiffany are listening. I'll tag one of them. The kid's awesome kid. The kid's aces. Great heart, great person, great family raising him, which is why he's becoming such a great kid. Another shout out I want to give is on Sunday. My best friend in the entire world has a birthday. RJ Kaler, February 8th. The man, the myth, the legend. One of the coolest, nicest, awesome people you ever meet in your life. Fun guy to be around. Honest. Morals. I wish I could say more good things about him. He's an incredible guy. I could take 20 minutes talking about all the things he's done for other people. The guy is one of the most selfless human beings on the face of the earth. I love him. And I want to wish him the best birthday in the entire world. So happy birthday, Nico. Happy birthday, RJ. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week's episode of Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. This is the super trade deadline episode. I'm the NFL Genius G Malzik. That's Kent State Zone, Cleveland Zone, College Control, Uncle Shally, Scholastic Shally, Mr. William Shawcross. And we are signing out.